So what's up, guys? We're back again. We got Htet back in here again.
Hello.
And so Johnson's here, I'm here, and we're back in the studio again.
Hey.
With our first in-person guest today, actually. And this is new for us. Like, I'm actually like kind of nervous. I was like, "Whoa, there's a person in front of me." You know what I'm saying?
Am I really the first in person?
You're the first in person.
Yes, you are.
Besides us recording with
Awesome.
ourselves.
He doesn't count because he works with me.
I love being the first of stuff. I love being the first of stuff. So
Ooh.
I'm happy. Thank you for having me.
How many firsts? What are the good firsts? Please name them.
Shit. I'm the first to the first of my family to come to the U.S. and
Okay, that's a
get
good
an education
big accomplishment.
in the U.S.
Okay, I thought you were gonna talk about relationship stuff, and they'd be like,
I thought it was gonna be something rated. I thought it was gonna be some rated R stuff. To be honest with you.
some X-rated shit off the bat.
I was the first for somebody that I can't name. Who.
It's okay. We don't have to put names out here. But was it a good experience for you?
Hell yeah, it was.
Is it because you felt vindicated? Was it the vindication?
Dude, she took something away from him.
I was just like, I'm ready if you are. I was like, yeah. And
Shit.
he was a little nervous, but I walked him through it, and it was great.
Yeah, step by step. We all need those guidances, you know. You can't do something without help the first time. That's the lesson there.
Yeah.
You know, you have to be, a team,
Yes.
right?
And you have to be willing to help.
Oh yeah, good person.
Yes.
Some people are not.
Yeah.
I don't have an experience like
Dude,
that.
I can't stop laughing because we got something like a lesson out of that.
Yeah, no, there's a lesson in
And it's an
everything.
important lesson though that everyone has to learn.
There's a lesson in everything, dude. You gotta realize
Yes.
no matter how stupid a situation, there will always be a lesson somewhere.
Where was your first kiss, and how was it? Mine was great.
Oh, mine was. How old was I? I was like 13, and it was really. We were on a camping trip, because we had a school outing.
Yeah.
And so everyone on the school outing just got hammered.
What? At 13?
At 13?
We were 13, 14. Yeah.
Okay.
Bro.
Yeah,
Is
I
this
drank.
in Philippines?
Yeah, I
Okay,
drank.
that makes
We all
sense.
drank really early back in the day. That's why
Same in Burma.
That's why I can't drink as hard anymore.
Yeah.
I'm twice the age now. So what
Yeah.
do you think is gonna happen, right?
Right.
And I did like this girl, and it was the most awkward thing. It was kind of I wish it was on video because they were kind of
Gee, I was gonna ask, how did you initiate this first kiss?
I don't even
Did she
fucking
do it, or were you just
I don't even. It was an awkward kind of I don't know what to do right now. So I'm gonna try this.
it's like, do I put my hand here or
Yeah,
here?
how do I hold your face? How do I process this type of thing? And it was just a big experience for me, and I will never forget how I felt after. I was like, it's only up from here. That's the only thing I could think after that.
Did you feel very happy and gratified from that?
Honestly, yeah, because it was the first kiss.
You're like,
That's true.
awesome. I just kissed a girl.
It's like you
Yeah.
told your boys
You didn't know
hey
it was
guys.
a girl though. Could have been a
Oh.
guy.
Oh, it could have been a guy.
Okay. Okay.
You're right. It could have been a guy.
I feel like everyone's a little bit bi-curious.
Everybody is a little bit
A little bit.
curious.
No, I know. We're both.
Yeah.
Our fraternity is
A lot of people
bi-curious.
just, and a lot of people just don't admit it.
Yeah, I know.
But everybody's a little bi-curious.
Seen my
Single
guy
trying.
friends hate on guy friends.
And then they're like, I'm still straight, bro.
Yeah, no, no homo.
No.
That was a thing when we were younger.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
They'll
no
do
homo.
something. They'll do something a little
Yeah.
gay, and they'll be like, "No homo, though."
Oh yeah, no, right? And it's just what's
Bro, now
happening?
when you're lit, you just slap everyone's butt.
Yeah, I know.
Nice. That's
It's
hot.
vindication, right? Gives you a little bit of a kick because you're this is good.
How was your first kiss, Johnson?
My first kiss? So I'm actually a late boomer. So I was always scared to talk to girls
Yeah.
just because I always hated the idea of getting rejected.
It's okay, same.
Yeah. Anyways, my first time was when I was in Taiwan. And I was
So
on...
you were in
Dude,
college?
I was 18.
Wow.
Yeah, my first kiss was when I was 18. Yeah.
So what happened? You didn't. Okay, wait. Let's backtrack. Let's backtrack to Johnson's life story with women, or
Dude,
whichever way you swung. I don't know. So let's start from Let's start from middle school. You didn't. So when you liked someone, what did you do?
I didn't do anything, dude.
So you sat there and looked
I just
at them.
sat there and did nothing.
When I liked him, what did I do?
Yeah, what did you do? We need a woman's
I
perspective
just sat
here.
there and looked pretty, or tried to look pretty, and then I.
And
would,
do they just
talk
come up to
them.
you?
I mean, when you were young, boys are always the ones that initiates first, right?
That's
like,
true.
They're like.
That's a genuine one.
Besides me, though.
Well, Wait, so okay, we'll get to you in a
Yeah,
bit.
no, we gotta get.
Please explain.
Tet is the guest, so we gotta.
No, so like I remember my first quote unquote boyfriend, right?
How old was this?
I was like 12, 13.
Mm-hmm.
My boyfriend, we didn't even kiss. We held hands, and I think he kissed me on the cheek. But basically what had happened was him and this other guy who I actually liked.
It was a triangle.
Love
What?
triangle.
There was a love triangle. Apparently I didn't know this until later, but apparently they both knew that they liked me, and then they were
Did they
like,
do
all
like a
right,
rock paper scissors?
something along the
No
lines.
way.
But they were like, all right, we're gonna punch the wall, and whoever makes a louder sound gets to go after her.
Yo, boys gonna be boys, huh?
And then the other guy did, because he was like way more buff. And then
At 13.
yes, he's still a buff guy. But
Nice.
right. And then I guess like we were really good friends too. And then we just kind of were like, yeah, I like you, and most of it was on the phone. And then we would just like meet up at school. We never met up outside of school. And then I was just like, all right. And then one day we were on the phone, and then we were like, we should break up. I think we should break up. And he's like, yeah, I think we should break up too.
Did you mention it or did he mention it?
I don't even remember, but we were like pretty much in agreement to it.
Yeah.
And then it ended, and I think a few days after he got together with my friend. But I was so happy about it. Like, they were a great couple. They had their first kiss and everything. So yeah, it was great. But middle schoolers, crazy.
So was
Crazy
your
boys.
first breakup just like, all right?
That's what happened to
move
me.
on.
Yeah, my first breakup was all right. The
Yeah.
second one was really brutal. I was in love.
At like what, 14?
Yes, at like
Holy
13,
shit.
14. It happened like right after not right after, but I think with that guy was 12, and then the second guy was my first kiss, which was great, by the way.
It wasn't like a.
It was
It was like
beautiful.
wet and like shit.
It was on my birthday,
Oh shit.
and I was casted as the lead in my school play. So I, performed that day, and then everybody in the audience sang happy birthday to me as a surprise. And then he came up to me afterwards, gave me a bouquet of flowers on the car, and then we were like, let's go get dinner. So we went to get dinner, and then on the car he gave me a little necklace, and then he took me to somewhat like an abandoned park, but it's in the middle of the
That
city.
sounds so sketchy.
Yeah, it's not
It's
scary
not
at all.
as sketch just because it's like not as abandoned, and it's like famous for like couples to go there.
For like proposals and.
right,
Like
right.
proms and winter
So we
formal.
went there, and then the stars were like shining. We can see so many stars. And
like
then
a
he
perfect
kissed
movie
It
scene.
was a perfect movie scene, and then he kissed me. So that was great. But yeah, he cheated on me at the end after 2 years. At like
What?
age 14.
Fuck.
I know.
That was-
That's where my trauma
Well, your
started.
story went like so well, and then it just.
Dipped. It's just a straight rocket down.
Yes.
Wow.
It's like the stock market. The Graham
Yeah,
stock, bro.
100%. Like I don't know if I can say I didn't see it coming, but I almost didn't see it coming. But it was
So there
with
was
my
like
friend.
little like incidents that you could kind of
It
foreshadow.
was like sus. You
Yeah,
could like feel the susness.
I mean,
right?
he would just like be on the phone with this other girl for hours, and I'm like, hey, your phone is busy. He's like, yeah, I'm talking to her. Like, I'll call you after. And I was like, what do you mean? Yeah, I'm the girlfriend.
Yeah, you got to give me the attention here. I'm the significant
she's
other.
just a close friend. I'm like, okay, but I'm the girlfriend. And then, but I mean, we were 14, so
Yeah.
whatever.
Mm.
It's fine. And then he, before I left, he was like, if you weren't leaving to the U.S., that was like right before I left to Burma. Before I left Burma and came to New York, and then he was like, if you didn't move to the U.S., we would still be together. And then he told me he loved me, like on my right 5 minutes before my flight out, and I was like, motherfucker. I was like, motherfucker. And then right afterwards, I dated his best friend.
Damn.
The circle of hate just continues. Okay, so then we're gonna go from that story. So please describe to me, Johnson, what your middle school experience was like with women.
Dude, did I just tell you earlier though? Like, if I like someone, I just didn't do anything for some reason because I always just hated the idea of getting rejected. Like, I was just
Interesting.
scared.
So you just sat there and didn't do anything.
I sat there and didn't do anything.
Oh.
Unfortunately.
Okay, let's forward. Okay, in high school, what was that like? Did you do the exact same thing?
Basically the same exact thing.
Did you get rejected your first time?
No. I've only had one girlfriend.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
and that was
awesome.
in college. Yeah,
Oh,
Wow.
that's cute.
Oh yeah, you did. You're like just like me.
yeah, just like
Yeah,
you.
just like me.
Only one girlfriend. Yeah,
How long was that?
2.5 years.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wait, we got off track.
No, no, it's fine.
no, we're gonna finish the story.
No, you're not
finish
finish
the
bro. Like
story.
my life is boring, bro. Like I just sat there,
no.
didn't do anything.
Just finish your first kiss story
Oh, my first
in
kiss.
Taiwan.
Oh,
All right, yeah. All right. So I actually went to Taiwan one of the summers, and I studied abroad there for I think 6 weeks. So I was part of a program. There's a lot of nicknames for it. Some people call it Love Boat because there's a lot of.
It's literally called love. What?
There's a thing like called Love Boat. You can search it up later. Like a lot of people just go back, you learn Chinese, and then people
But
just
you're
end
just
up like
hooking up.
date and stuff.
Uh,
So yeah, there was a girl that I met there that I kind of slowly grew feelings. I never actually told her that I liked her.
okay.
But then, like, I think it was like the 8th, maybe like the 2nd to last week of the program. So, okay, I guess a little backstory. Like, we dormed, and then there's one floor is only for guys, one floor only for girls. And like on the weekends when you want to go out, you have to lie and say like, oh, I'm staying with family, whatever. But in actuality, we would go club.
Right.
So one of these weekends that we actually went out and clubbed, we couldn't go back home because we couldn't go back to the dorm because we were staying with family.
Right.
And then we didn't want to do a hotel because it was too expensive. So we would go to a karaoke.
And you just like sit
And
there, right?
24-hour karaoke, right? So we like use that as like you get there, get more lit,
There's
and then
such a thing?
and then you just take
Yeah.
a nap
Oh my god.
until like 6 a.m. Anyways, we were just singing karaoke, and then she like lied down like on my lap, and it was like dark and shit, and I just went down and just kissed her.
Ooh.
So you're like, just like this?
Lover boy.
Damn,
And that was my first
funny.
kiss.
That's
That's
Essentially.
smooth as fuck. If
Yeah.
I was a girl, I would be like, ooh.
Yeah.
He just did that.
yes.
Yeah,
See,
that's smooth.
you don't give yourself enough credit, man.
Yeah. That's
That's why I had to ask.
But the thing is, like in the morning, like we were just holding hands, and then like we sat next to each other, like when we went on a trip. But then we never actually told each other that if we had. I felt like we had
So
feelings for each other.
You were just in limbo.
Yeah. What? And the thing is, like, I didn't really do anything because like she went to school in Cali and I was in New York, so it's like
Maybe it
long
worked out for
distance.
the best.
Yeah.
Mm,
If like I actually said something or initially, but the thing is, I realized like we kind of kept in touch after we went back to our respective cities and countries, and we like talked and like FaceTime a couple of times, and like one time she texted me, was like, oh, like why didn't you do anything with this other girl that you were kind of talking to?
Right.
And I was just kind of like dodged the question, but like looking back, I feel like she was kind of like
Trying
insinuating.
to
trying to
make
say like
yours-
make me say like, oh, I liked you,
But you couldn't.
not her.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe you just didn't like her enough.
Maybe. Sometimes things just don't work out, right?
Yeah. That's most of the time.
Yeah, there's a reason
honestly.
for everything, you know.
I mean, they're all the wrong people until they aren't. I always say that.
Ooh,
Every single one is wrong until they aren't.
exactly. Oh, also, do you think people are born soulmates? How do you think soulmates work? Do you believe in soulmates?
I believe you have multiple soulmates
At different times of your lives,
at
right?
different times of your life. So my best friend, she's a girl, she's just a best friend. She's my soulmate because she knows she understands me to my core, right? So anybody who I can really partner up forever, I consider my soulmate.
So that means that it can also be not just relationship,
Right.
like it can be also like best friend, or it can
Yeah.
also be like family
Yeah.
as well.
And
Okay.
maybe you won't even meet your soulmate, right? If you're lucky, you will meet somebody who
Like you're lucky
can
to meet one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then if you're lucky, you'll have somebody like that in your life. But not everybody finds their soulmate. And I think that's fine. You know, you don't have to be with somebody else to be happy or to define your life or your relationships.
What if you want kids though?
That's a
what I
different
thought-
story.
that's what I thought.
Right, that's a different story.
Well, I think it's just finding the right person to communicate with. Like
Yeah.
you guys won't always be like a puzzle, like perfectly like together.
Yeah.
There's always like something you have to give, and like it's a tug, you know,
It's like give and go.
Give and
it's
go.
like give and get.
give and take.
Give and take. Give and take.
That's
Give and take.
big.
Give and take.
What is your like take on like view on relationships? Like what's your big rule on how to keep a relationship or like what a relationship should be? Because I always have one which is like if you're going to be with somebody, you better be with somebody who you can accept their flaws. Like I will I have found the one when I find somebody that I first like obviously and love, but also his flaws I can be like, all right, these flaws I can take. And
So
I
like
can
not
deal with.
necessarily to try to like change them
Right.
completely, but to kind of accept
Accept
it
it.
and then kind of come to like a certain agreement of like to work with each other,
Right.
not like I don't know,
Right.
around it.
Exactly.
If I'm, yeah.
So there's always that, like you're working as a unit, right?
Yeah.
And okay, this is gonna sound super horrible, but I'm gonna put this in a way that doesn't sound as bad. I feel like as a relationship, right, you always have to have things that complement each other, and you have to have a synergy.
Yeah.
So I feel like if the person that I'm trying to date or like pursue as a lover isn't trying to like kind of mold with me or trying to like grow with me, that isn't going to be beneficial to our relationship moving forward, right?
1000%.
And also, if you are the sole earner in the relationship and she or they are not trying to like push themselves forward, that's a huge red flag already. That's like, I think my number one rule is like, if you're not willing to contribute at the same level I am,
Yeah.
like even just financially off the bat, not just financially, but also like maybe like your emotions, like maybe like your love language is different, right? And you're just trying to like, because we all talk about like love languages, how
Yeah.
that works. It's not going to work because then you're not on the same page.
Right, like same values, similar goals, like whether you're motivated the same. I think that's important for me too. But that's like, that goes into like preference and stuff too as well. Yeah. What are like the big, so for you, obviously, you need motivation, somebody who's motivated, ambitious, I'm thinking.
It's more like open communication. So if, say for example, she's like, oh, like I'm trying to like study.
Right.
I'm like, okay, fine. I'll be the sole or income earner. I'll do the best I
Yeah,
can.
yeah.
No guarantees it'll be fun.
Right.
But we'll make it work.
Right.
And it's just like being able to be, like communicate with certain like issues, right?
Seems like you want a family.
Well,
Joe's ready to have that baby.
You have, you,
because okay, here's the
that's what
reality,
you think
right?
about. Mm-hmm.
If we're dating now, we're
It
like
has to go
hitting
somewhere.
It has to go somewhere because we're in our mid 20s, and so people become infertile like once they hit like become less fertile once they
Yeah.
hit 30.
Yeah.
So it's like if you want like next of kin, all that stuff, you have
Yeah.
to think about that stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's okay to date around and be like, just be honest about it.
Yeah.
Just be
Yeah.
like, this is what I'm looking for. What are you looking for? If we're not on the same page, fine.
Yeah.
Well, let's figure that out first.
Yeah.
So, Joe, what are you looking for?
Yeah, Joe, what are you looking for?
No, obviously, like at the point in our lives now where it's something serious.
Yeah.
Right.
Because, like, what, we're 25, 26.
Yeah.
When do you think is appropriate? When is it an appropriate time to actually marry someone? Like, do you think you have to wait like a year or two, or do you think sometimes it's just like maybe 2 months in and you're like, I feel it?
Listen to your heart, bro.
Yeah, listen to your
the
heart,
feelings-
bro.
No, like you literally like you'll feel it, like you'll know, because every fucking movie you watch about this shit is like, I felt it in my heart. I knew it. Tell me that I'm wrong.
Love is not enough. Let me tell you that.
So what is enough?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Love is not enough to keep like have a really like to be in a relationship. You may love somebody so much, but if the nature of the relationship in itself is extremely toxic, I don't think you should stay together just because you love each other. I had an ex who, like, I think we both love each other a lot, but we were extremely different people. Like, he had different goals, and not different goals, but he had a different idea of what a woman should be, and I had a different idea of what a woman should be, and freedom, and et cetera, and all of that. We got along really well as friends. We had a really good friendship base, but when it came to when we were in a relationship, it was just like, I could not handle it, right? His ideal woman was very different from who I was, and it emotionally took a lot of like toll on me. So I was just like, all right, well, we clearly do, care for each other a lot, but we can't be together. And then we didn't stay together, and I'm so glad I made that decision because it was like a dark time in my life. But yeah, that's why I think love is not enough. Sometimes like you said, there has to be synergy. Like, it has to make sense.
Like they have to add to your life somehow.
Yes, somehow, right?
Because if they don't add to your life, it's just like a financial statement.
They might bring you down a little bit.
Are you an asset? Or are you a liability?
Liability.
right. Are you an asset or a
You
liability?
did a revenue financial statement
Yeah,
recently,
exactly.
huh?
That also works with like relationships with friends too, right? Because it's
Yeah.
like we're at the age where we have a finite amount of time to do dumb things,
Yes.
and you want to do dumb things with the right people,
Yeah.
and you have to be careful with it, like your time and like where it goes. Like for example, I did not expect on a Friday night to be in here
Right.
ever, but
I mean,
are.
we never thought we were
Yeah.
going to do this either.
I know we were just
So-
in a room one day and we were like, "Yo,"
Let's do a
Let's do a
podcast.
Podcast.
and then now we're here, and
I
now we
love
have
it.
our first in-person guest.
I love it.
Lit.
It's my first It's my first podcast.
Hey, it's the
Our
first for everyone. Yo, it's the
Yes,
first for...
it's
Hey.
first
It's a new
for
first.
We were talking about first earlier today.
So see, everything works out the way it's supposed to.
Yeah.
And it's good to know that things just kind of go the way they're supposed to.
Yes.
It's kind of like You just kind of like let the wind blow and see where it takes you.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what's gonna happen with people's love lives too, right? It's just like you don't expect it to hit you, but it hits you. Like that's okay. That's why dating apps, I just can't sometimes with them
Why?
because I put so much effort in tring to talk to people and they just don't talk to me. I'm like, what is
Dude,
this?
maybe it's because you're a pickup line, dude.
It's not
What
even.
do you
my
say? What do you say when you like hit them up? Do you just say hey?
I wish I could pull my phone out.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, no, I never say hey. I usually look at people's profile. And I'm like, so for example, there was this one person that was like, this was my most recent one. And I was like, hey, and it was like, oh, you're the same type of weird or something like that if you look at the menu before you order. And I'm like,
I
and
do
then
that.
Is this
my-
Hinge? Okay.
And so when I did message someone, I was like, well, yeah, of course I'm going to look at the menu before I order and get to the restaurant.
That's how you hit them
No,
up.
and then I put
that's art.
because I'm kind of hungry. Like, wouldn't you do that if you're hungry too?
Yeah.
That's what I said. And I was like, I just don't
Started
care.
with sass.
Yeah, why the fuck not? Like, I
Just be
don't,
upfront about it, you know?
Okay.
Just
I
let
just
it
like
all
the
The
out
right
right
there.
girl would have responded back
Yeah.
with enough sass.
If they can accept that sass,
There you
it
go.
would have worked.
Exactly.
See, so I'm trying here. I'm just like, I cut the bullshit too because we don't have time for that shit.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like walk on eggshells to meet someone that I might fall in
Interesting.
love with.
Yeah.
And then have it not work because we met off an app that gives you like a perception of someone based off of their profile
Yeah.
that then makes you think about the future you could have with them because you're given a profile of them already.
Right.
I'm like, cut the shit. Here's what I think.
this is what I want, and then let's go with it. Right?
Yeah. Okay. What do you do?
What do I? Wait, what do you mean? My date?
Dating
My
apps.
dating apps?
Yeah.
Sometimes I just look at their picture or their
Do you read their
their
bios?
yeah. You gotta read through their prompts and their
My
questions.
sister doesn't.
Really, they just like look at the picture and just
She'll be like, and then she'll.
no. But sometimes their prompts and their answers are super basic,
read
and you're just
everything.
like, all right, no, like you just straight up know, like this isn't gonna really go anywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Some people are really boring.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like I try to like show that I live an interesting life. Wait, move that in front of you.
Yeah, my bad.
I try to like show that I live an interesting life. I have interesting friends. Like it's just
Dude, this guy skydives.
It
it's
gets-
just so stressful.
Do you really? I've never skydived. I want to skydive so bad.
Yeah,
Is it fun?
skydive. Yeah, skydiving is a thing. Like I think one of my life goals is to become certified. So
What?
Yeah.
What?
You gotta take Tet.
Yeah, I'd be down to go.
I'm not gonna put you on my back.
That's fine, but I'd be down to actually go and skydive because I've been wanting to for a while now. But I'm like, I'm really light, so I don't know if I'll die.
You'll be fine.
Ah, okay, great.
The parachute will catch you. It's
Okay,
whatever.
nice.
We're like the same weight. We're all probably like
We're all
around
like-
the same
yeah.
weight.
I'm like 100 pounds.
All right, no,
Oh,
I'm
never mind.
I'm 150.
Never mind.
Extremely small. But yeah.
Well, talking about things you want to do in the future, like skydiving, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you? Or I guess we can go back a little bit. What are some of your hobbies right now?
Hobbies. Well, I sing, if you didn't
Nice.
know.
Nice.
I sing a lot.
So earlier when we were walking earlier, you were talking about you do finance, right?
Yes.
If you weren't doing finance, would you be singing full time or would you do something more in the arts? I mean, singing is arts.
It's tricky because I love finance. I know, like, it's so weird that I'm like such an art freak, but I love finance. I love making money. I love the idea of like how money moves and how money grows. I love the idea of saving, etc. All of that, like that boring stuff. So if I wasn't doing finance, I think I'd be in law because I actually went to school for like business law and finance. And I initially wanted to go to law school, but I fell in love with finance along the way, so I stayed in finance. Music, doing full time, I struggle with that a lot because I'm actually in a place where I may have to actually consider doing full time. And I've thought about it over and over again. And music had always been my escape, right? When I'm sad, when I'm feeling down, when I'm really happy, when I want to relax, that's when I start making music. When I'm free, I make music. But if it becomes my job, then I feel like it will become my sole like reason of stress. Like it will stress me out. And I don't know if I want that. And like people say, yeah, but you're still doing something that excuse me, that you love, but still, to be doing it, I don't want to get bored of it. First of all, to be doing it like 24/7. And I also don't want to get sick of it. I don't want to start hating it. And I get scared thinking about it. I'm like, oh, dang, if I actually did it full time, I wonder if I will grow to hate it. Because a lot of musicians do, I think. A lot of artists do grow to hate it because it gets so complicated with the business and everything. And the grass is not always greener on the other side. And yeah.
Can relate.
Gio, did that kind of happen to you? Because I know you kind of took a hiatus from
I did.
DJing, right? So
Yeah.
like, did you think that? I know you have a full-time job doing marketing and everything, and then you stopped doing producing music, DJing. Was it because you kind of felt too stressed
here's the
about it,
thing.
or did you kind of lose motivation?
I've heard the other side of the story where it's like, oh, I quit and then I did music full time. And dude, a lot of people just can't live. Like,
Yeah.
I've heard stories where people like live off their groupies
Yeah.
because they don't have the money to literally sustain their life.
Yeah.
Like, that's so, like,
That's
and
scary.
At this age where we want to be kind of stable and you want stability in your life, that is terrifying. And not being able to be like, oh, like, I want to like go out with my friends. Like, you can't because you're probably gonna have to meet an artist deadline. You're gonna have to meet like a production deadline. Like, I know, like in my heart, that I'm not the type of person that can sit in front of a laptop 10 hours a day and produce music.
Yeah. Same. I think same.
Like, you can't sing for 10 hours straight. Like,
I probably can,
You
but I
can.
don't want to.
that is why.
Yeah.
I think that's what you're getting at.
Yeah,
right?
and then it's like, okay, for example, when I first started making music, I was just like, hey, let me just make a song and release it out in the world. And great, like, great response, right? Kind of got traction, and then I like signed with a manager and everything like that. And then it became more serious, where I had to be more conscious about the Instagram posts I was posting to make sure that my my social media,
brand, right?
my social media reflects a brand, that it shows that I'm an artist, and I have to like watch what I post, and I have to actually make more content. And you know, I was asked to make TikToks and etc. And I'm like, I don't want to do TikToks, but I have to, right? To like get my name out there. It's the right way to market myself. But I don't want to have to do stuff that I don't want to do to create music. And that's kind of where what I'm starting to realize, that I have to do all these extra things that I may not want to do because it's work.
Yeah.
It now becomes work and not pleasure.
It's like doing something that makes you originally super happy and
Yeah.
like de-stressed, and
Yeah.
now it's just like you said,
Like
work
an
and
added like stress
stress.
kind of way. I mean, I'm still happy that I get to do it. My managers are awesome, and they've like networked me with people that I would never ever get to network with myself. So I'm super thankful for that. So there's always like pros and cons to it, but obviously yeah, it's hard to always make TikToks and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't know how to make TikToks.
Did you meet these managers in like during the pandemic?
Yeah, so I'm super lucky because it just kind of came to me. After I released my album, actually, so my friends like knew that I was making music, and then a friend of mine hit me up, and then he was like, "Hey, I have a friend. She's a manager of like this company, etc. Showed her your songs. She loves it. She's showing it to her. She would love to show it to her like CEO and stuff like that. Would you be down? Do you have a manager?" And I said, "No, I don't have a manager. What does that entail?" He's like, "Well, she'll talk to you all about it." And I'm like, "Okay." And then that's how it happened. And then they called me. They were in LA. They called me. We had a talk. They seemed super like ethical, not like sketchy.
Not try to like
and stuff
steal
like
your
that.
money or
right,
kind of like
exactly.
stifle.
And then I would stay indie, right? That's my main thing. I want to stay indie. I don't want to work under a label. And they will manage me. They will help me network with like different publishing companies and stuff like that. So that was great. I'm glad that I didn't like sign my life away, basically. Yeah.
When we are talking about music and like, you know, how it's like grown as a passion for you, and something like I can relate to too, right? When did you realize that you wanted to do it? Like, is there a moment? Because I know I have one, but do you?
I didn't have a moment that I knew I wanted to do it, but I grew up pretty musical. So when I was young, like even talking about music actually makes me really happy. But like basically I grew up when I was young, I was always in plays, as I said before. You know, I was always in plays. I was in a choir. I surprisingly always got the lead roles and stuff like that. And I was like I love being the center of attention. And then just being honest. And then
That's why you're here.
yes.
All eyes on Tet right now.
But I can also be really shy. But anyways, like it's it's just a part of me. And my grandfather was also a singer back in Burma, so it's just kind of in the family. And then I actually lost touch with music for a while in college.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can relate to that.
Yeah, right? Like you just you're like, well, this is not going to be a career, so why am I putting,
Effort
why
and
would
time
I
into it.
put this extra time into it? And then there was a moment in college where I heard a girl sing on the other side of the wall while I was in my class. And I was like, whoa, like, who is this singing? So I excused myself out of class. I went to that other room, like all the way across the hallway.
You like knocked on the door and walked in, took a peek.
Yeah, the door was open, and I was like, was that you who was just singing? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, are you guys in a singing group or anything? And then she's like, yeah, it's an a cappella group. And that's when I got back into singing. And then they were super uplifting and everything. So they gave me a lot of confidence. But back to the moment. There was no exact moment, but it was like kind of like a build up, right? Because I started writing my own songs. I had my own melodies, and I wasn't that confident about it back then. And then when I had a song that I really did like, and a friend of mine was just like, you should make this song. Like, you should start making songs. She brought me to her boyfriend's studio, her boyfriend's brother's studio. Mm-hmm. And then we kind of talked a bit, and he's like, let's do it. And then we just made it. So it wasn't even like a big, it wasn't even like a big moment. I'm going to do this now. It was just like, all right, let's try it.
And were those the songs that you released?
Yeah, like the first one, Take Care. Yeah. And we started with one. Thank you. Yeah, that one got a lot of traction. I was like, whoa. Like I put zero money into it apart from studio time. So I was like, whoa. Like,
so that was just basically you put it up on Spotify and then it just blew up?
It just blew up.
And it was just, you didn't even pitch on playlists? You didn't do any of that?
No, I didn't do any of that.
That's just natural.
Yeah.
Straight up.
It was crazy. Like, I would wake up and then I had 20K listens. And I was like, whoa. And then the next day I had like 30. And then I was like, first it was like 1,000 and then it became 10K. And then it grew just like, I think right now is at like 80K or something like that, which is it's okay. But for a first song, that's pretty good.
And you didn't push it?
No, I didn't push
There's
it.
no advertising. Usually, because you can buy your way to the billboard.
Yes.
You can. If you got a millionaire and was like, hey, push my ads, you could.
100%.
That's how a lot of people make it on the billboard. Like, I'm not shooting
so.
shots at anyone, okay? Like, I'm just saying you can.
Yes.
I'm not saying anyone does. They might. But, like, that you can. And
Yes.
if you can gain organic traction, because that song was produced really well.
Thank you.
And it was also sang well.
Yeah.
And whatever he did to, like, make the harmonies work, it worked.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, good songwriting and good production will always be someone that can push the song to the billboard.
And I think my moment was probably right after that, being having that like good what's that word? What's that word when they give you good feedback? Right? Having good. Oh my gosh, my brain was like spaced out at the moment. So when I got good feedback, I was like, whoa, like I can actually do this, right? Because I didn't believe in myself before. I thought it was just subpar. And I was expecting less than 1,000 listens. Yeah. Because a lot of my friends who were doing it at the time had less than 1,000 listens. So when I saw that I had potential, I was like, all right, I'm going in. And then I did it, and I made that album, etc. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
that must have pushed like you to
Yeah.
progress in that hobby.
Yeah, it just gave me confidence, you know. I think I'm like way more confident I am now in music and my abilities than I was like 2 years ago.
Joshi was in the art of flow.
Yeah, I guess I was in my flow. But man, maintaining that is the hardest.
Yeah, that must be hard because like you came with your own melody, you came up with your own song lyrics.
Yeah.
Where did you like draw all this inspiration?
It's just in my brain. Like I don't even. So when I make songs, it's either I feel something and I have to write it, or I hear something like a beat, and then I'm like, whoa, and I can write to that song within like 10 minutes. So it
That's
really
crazy.
depends on like the song. It really depends on the beat. It really depends on what I'm feeling and etc. as well. Yeah. So, but my biggest hardest thing about music is maintaining that like passion and maintaining people to be interested. Because when you put out your first song, they're like, whoa, this is new. Like, we've never seen this from you before. But after your like third song, they're like, okay.
It's like, what's new?
Music.
What's
Yeah,
like,
right,
are you gonna come up with
exactly.
something more creative or
Yeah,
something?
right. And
like,
then they're like not as like interested or et cetera. Right.
It's
I'm
like
sure you know how. I'm sure that same thing happened to you, Gio.
this is like why I don't release like a lot of stuff because it's like I'm not at the point as a producer where I can do that yet.
Right.
So, but hey, I have big things for next month. So it's
Oh,
fine.
really?
Um,
Me too.
He has a performance coming up.
Oh, really?
I'm filming tomorrow, so
Ah.
new things. I know you have big things. So what's next for Ted?
So I'm actually flying to Chicago next weekend to shoot a music video for one of my new songs.
Oh yeah, I saw your page. You accidentally thought you were going tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
I
Oh
was
my
like, oh
god.
shit.
Fucking nice.
Yeah, but I'm actually going next weekend, and it's going to be
Nice.
a big production. So I'm really excited because it's one of my favorite songs. It's older that it's one of my older written songs, but I'm only releasing it now, and it's amazing.
So so this is like something that's old that you're releasing new, and then what's the plan from there? Like, is this a whole EP? Like, is it just one song?
So for this year, I pretty much have my whole year planned out in terms of music. This one is just one song, and then in the summer, I'm hoping to release an EP. Depends on like how COVID really kind of messed things up for me, and then the coup, obviously, and then. So summer EP and then hopefully 2 more songs like down the line in the winter. I'm trying not, just like you, I'm trying not to put out
too
too
much out there.
Because you're gonna fatigue your audience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't want to be somebody who's creating content. I want to be somebody who's creating art.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So artful content.
Right.
Artful content.
Art
There
for
you
the
go.
content. There you go. Exactly. Not content, just for art or whatever.
You came full circle.
Yeah.
We were talking about art earlier too.
Exactly. It's more of what is your artist brand? How do you want to push it? And
Yeah.
then what is the end goal of Tet as an artist?
I don't have an end goal. I just want to make music because it makes me happy.
So
right?
what's your ideal vision then?
ideal vision? Do you know FKJ?
What does that stand for?
FKJ is this guy who rips at guitar and singing. I'll show you him later. He's an artist, but he's more low key. Let's see, like K Tronada. He's not as low key, but you guys know K Tronada, right?
I think I've heard of them before. Him?
Let's
Oh, I've
think
heard of
about
FKJ.
like Yuna. You know Yuna.
I'm not an indie person.
Forever in my mind. You don't know that song? Only.
Well, you gotta do that again for the audience.
No, I'm sorry.
Okay, but yeah, basically, right? You guys don't even really know them.
Yeah, because it's
I
indie.
want to
Indie?
stay indie, but they also have a good amount of following. So I don't want to like blow up too much. I just want it to be organic. And if people listen to me, they listen to me. If they don't, they don't. That's fine. I'm going to keep making my music because I like it.
You just want to be true to an art. True to an
Yes.
art. It's
Yes.
not anything material. It's not
Right.
anything that's like, oh, I want to blow up so that I can actually sustain my life as a musician.
Exactly.
It's really just I want to make something that means something to me.
Yes.
And I want it to mean something to the people that listen.
Exactly. And I don't want to start making music because I feel like I need to make money. Like, I never want to do that. I think that's also why I like staying in finance. It helps me keep sane, right? I have money, I have the means to make music and not go broke. So if I'm making all this money, what would I spend it on? I would love to spend it on my
Music,
dream and
arts.
my art and what I'm passionate about. So I'm lucky that I'm passionate about both finance and music, right? So I get to do finance in the morning, and with that money that I earn from making from doing finance, I get to pursue my dream and my passion. So I think I have a good balance right now in like the way I've set up my life, I think. Yeah.
So talking about balance, besides singing, how do you kind of de-stress?
De-stress. I love listening to music. That's my main way of de-stressing, right? I go walk alone. I will like walk around the city. I don't even look at maps. I don't talk to anybody. I turn off like my phone and everything, and then I just walk around with music. I go to parks alone, and then I just sit there and watch people.
Just watch people.
Yeah. So I
Observe
just
everything
people
that's
watch
happening.
and then I think, and then I listen to music, and that's pretty much my main way to de-stress. And then maybe go to concerts. I do that alone as well, which is a little weird. But how about you?
Do what? To de-stress?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like lately us too, like the way we de-stress is just what? Work out, gym. He plays music. I just kind of, honestly, just doing this podcast in a way is kind of de-stressing. Just to
Right.
not think about work at all.
Yeah.
I mean, we're still working.
Different
It's
kind of
not
work.
work.
It's
Right.
like it's like what Ted
Different-
says. You know, like music is kind of work, but not really.
Right.
It's, you know, it's the
It's
way
different
to
brain function.
Exactly.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
a creative brain function.
Right.
Yeah.
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 I mean, for me, it's I go to the gym, and then I also I try to produce music, and then I try to DJ, and then I edit videos for us too. So there's that.
Mm. Yeah. How was it like for you, like as a DJ? And was it really hard? Like, what was your moment? I didn't get to ask you.
No, I used to be a drummer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my main instrument is drums.
Oh.
So
Be on the lookout for tomorrow.
yeah, be on the lookout for
Nice.
tomorrow.
It's coming back.
I'm gonna cut that. I'm trying to keep the hype, man.
I mean, it's gonna be released, no?
I know, but
They don't know. They don't
I
know.
don't know.
I'm sorry.
The thing is, I knew that it was gonna be drums because I was a horrible instrumentalist. I could not read notes to save my life.
I don't know how to read notes either.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
when they were teaching us the recorder,
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is this F key? What is this F? What is this G? Where's the A? And FACE, right? That's
Yeah,
like
face.
the
Yes.
clef, the clef. And I was like, dude, what the
And
fuck is
then-
this?
Every good boy does E, G,
Yeah.
B, some whatever.
Yeah.
Isn't it like
Every good
Altel
word-
Egress?
No.
Every good boy does fine.
Maybe that's the bass clef. But yeah, so I was really bad at notes, and I couldn't process how to use the recorder. And so I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do drums. So I the first time I held a pair of drumsticks, I felt like my body was like, I think you're supposed to be here.
Oh.
It's like that moment. It was like in my the pit of your stomach. It's like
You just know.
this just feels right.
Yeah.
It's like something speaking to you, but you don't know what it is, and
Yeah.
it's just like, yes.
Yeah.
It's like a sixth sense. It's like
Same thing
you
with
just, you
DJing.
just know it.
Same thing with DJing. Like when I first touched the deck, my friend was like, "The fuck? How did you figure that out?" I was like, "I don't know. I just looked at the buttons and I touched it." And then he was like, "You should keep doing that." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Okay."
You're like, yes.
Okay.
And then you felt it, right?
Yeah.
I think that's also the same thing with me in the studio. I went into the booth and I'm like, whoa. It was just a magical moment, right? It was like, whoa, I belong here. I want to keep doing this. I want to stand in the studio and keep singing. Yeah. I love that feeling, that rush.
Did
of,
you have a mentor that helps you
no.
do this process? It's just all you.
Yeah.
So you just
That's
self-taught.
props.
You're just self-taught.
Yeah, I am
Nice.
self-taught. I singing. I had choir teachers, but I didn't have extra help above that. I can play guitar a little bit, also self-taught, but I don't know how to read notes, which is really bad.
It gets important when you have to learn how to.
I
make a
know.
song.
Oh
Sight
my
reading.
gosh.
I'm learning it now, so that's
Really?
why I'm relearning all my scales and shit,
Yeah,
and
I
how
can't do
notes work and stuff like that. But yeah, we went through a lot today.
Yeah, we did.
Any last words, Ted?
So what do you want in the future in a partner?
We're going back into
Full
relationship.
circle.
Let's go. Okay.
Full
Gio, you go
circle.
first.
I mean, I have 3 non-negotiables:
What are those
What-
three?
okay.
pets, kids, and fitness.
You want pets. You want kids. You want fitness. Interesting. So your girlfriend has to be fit.
She has to want to pursue fitness in some way.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be fit. So
Okay.
it's
like yoga.
it's like you
stay
have
active.
to understand that being fit is not just a physical thing; it's a
Yeah.
mental thing,
Yes.
right?
Mm.
Because if you look good, you feel good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, 100%.
And also pets. I remember I met a girl, and then she was like, "I don't like dogs." I was like, "What the
Dogs
fuck
or
is wrong
cats?
with
You're
you?
just
Yeah,
no bueno.
no.
Fuck is wrong with you?" I was like, I immediately just went, "Okay, I'm out." In my
Really?
head.
I think it would be the same
I
thing,
checked,
actually.
I checked out so fast.
Ooh.
I think that would also be a non-negotiable thing for me.
What about you?
I think down the road, yeah, if you have kids, you want a pet to grow with your kids, you know? That's just, or maybe I'm just brainwashed from watching a lot of movies and shows, but
Yeah.
yeah.
What about you, Johnson?
Deal breakers or what do I look
What are
in?
your,
Both.
What do you want?
Yeah.
What do I want?
Yeah.
I want someone who has goals in mind,
Yeah.
but to able to adapt.
Yeah.
Again, with COVID and everything, you shouldn't be all right, I want to do this and only this. You have to be able to if something happens in between that period of time to reach that goal, they're able to kind of step away from that goal and kind of just readjust their I can't even speak, way of thinking to get to that point.
Right.
besides that, I think I realized I think very similar to Gio. Like, I just want someone who cares about themselves, cares about their family, is able to, gym. I also noticed I want kind of someone who like watches anime.
You're a weeb, bro.
I'm a weeb, so I think that's just me,
Anime's great.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't like anime?
Some people don't like
Losers.
anime. Some people do.
That is the right mentality.
Who doesn't? That's their snippet from the podcast show today.
Yeah, I mean, anime is awesome. Like, whoever doesn't like it is kind of like interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Ted?
Communication is so important, right? Like being able to communicate, not just communicate, but communicate honestly. I think because I'm so straightforward, I need somebody who can handle that and can also be straightforward with me. I also need somebody who's really nice. I think it's because when somebody's nice to me, I automatically want to be nice to them. So everybody has bad tendencies, and I think I have bad tendencies too. But I'm more prone to be nice to somebody who's good to me than somebody who's bad to me. I have that toxic trait where if you're bad to me, I'll probably be bad to you, right? And then the cycle just goes on
that's
until we break up.
It's the golden rule.
Right. And then, so I want somebody who's extremely nice, empathy, communication, and ambitious. Like, I need an ambitious guy, or else you're gone. Bye-bye.
Someone who just treats her right.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
Yes.
right?
I'm gonna put that on the highlight so that everyone can listen to that, and then hopefully you find someone.
No, I have a boyfriend.
Okay, good.
Oh.
Yes.
Now you found someone.
And he checks all these boxes.
So you've won.
Yes.
Why
You're
you-
in a good spot.
What?
Yes.
So you've won.
So we'll see. I mean, we'll see how he does over time. But right now, he's doing.
That's so
So far,
savage.
he's great.
She's savage.
It's true. I mean, same for me
if he
too.
goes off track,
I mean, same for me too. If I'm not a good girlfriend, by all means, should he leave me? Like, he should leave me, right? If I treat him bad, I should probably be left. If I'm a bitch, I should be left. And if he sucks,
he should be dropped.
he should be dropped too.
Respect.
Yeah.
And last words from Ted. She's won the game.
She's a winner.
Yes.
She's the winner because we're still searching.
It's okay, bro.
All right. And with that, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Peace.